What is up, ladies and gentlemen? My name is Josh. This is Jsurbanadventures. Welcome back to the channel. Today, I've got another brand new episode of Ghetto Gourmet for you guys. What used to be Hobo Cafe is now the Ghetto Gourmet, where I try out new recipes that I've never made before, and we see how it turns out. It usually ends up pretty good, sometimes not so much. Today, we're gonna be trying out Philly cheesesteaks, baby. Peppers, onions, some pepper jack cheese, some shredded steak. It won't necessarily be a Philly cheesesteak because we're not using Cheese Whiz. We're not doing it traditional. We're using pepper jack. And it's basically gonna be a Salt Lake City Jsurbanadventures special cheesecake. So let's get into the video right now. Guys, here's the ingredients I'm gonna be using. Having a little bit of Blue Moon. I'm gonna cook, I'm gonna eat a Philly cheesesteak, and I'm gonna drink some Blue Moon while I watch the State of the Union address tonight. I'm pretty excited. It's like the Super Bowl for me when something big politically like this happens, so I can't wait. It's gonna be the funniest thing I've watched in a long time. But here's our ingredients. We got sliced pepper jack cheese, we got some bell peppers, some onions. I'm not gonna use all of these, I'm gonna save some. But we've got some beef shaved steak and some artisano sausage rolls. So Shane got the bread and the steak, I got the cheese and this. And then we've got some of our garden grown German thyme. We got salt and pepper, a little bit of cayenne's gonna go on the meat, and then garlic. I'm going to toast these rolls with some butter and garlic, maybe a little basil on the bread. I'm gonna toast them on this thing right here. And then the steak we're gonna cook with the peppers and the onions so we can get some of that flavor infused into it. And then we're gonna throw some of that pepper jack on there, let it melt, and that'll be it, baby. That's the meal. So I'm gonna start cutting all these things up and getting everything prepped. Once we start cooking, I will be back to talk you guys through what we're doing. All right, guys, so I got some pepper and onion cut up. Saved some of those were really big peppers, so I've got a little leftover red pepper, green pepper, and onion. Looks like a whole lot of pepper and onion there, and it is. It might be too much, but the peppers and onions kind of shrink down, so it's better to have too much than too little. If there's too much and there's leftovers, I don't mind. I'll eat these once they're sauteed up. I'll eat these straight. I love peppers and onions. Here's our beef. Our shredded beef steak. We're going to season up our veggies. I got some pink Himalayan salt. We're going to season up these veggies just a little bit with some salt and pepper. And we're going to do the same to the meat. I will put some garlic salt on these peppers and onions, as well as some cayenne in the meat. I won't put the cayenne on the veggies, but we will put some of this granulated garlic, a little bit of that on there, and we'll mix all that around once we start cooking it. So now I'm going to season up the meat. I'm going to throw some tater tots. Well, first I got to preheat the oven. Once the oven's preheated, I'll throw some tater tots in, and then I will start heating my pans up. We'll heat this first pan up, this skillet right here. And once it's nice and hot, we'll put just a little bit of this oil. We'll use this avocado oil this time. We'll use a little bit of that oil, and then we'll throw the peppers and onions in there, and the meat we'll try to keep it separated, but it's gonna get a little mixed together. That's fine, that's not a big deal. And we'll just let it cook until the meat is nice and brown and the peppers and onions are nice and mushy. And then once it's just about done, I'll start heating up this, and I will butter up some rolls. Butter up a little bit of garlic, a little bit of basil on the bread. And we're also going to throw some of this thyme into the beef. A little bit of this. I use these long things when I do steaks. I put it off to the side of the steak with some melted butter, and I spoon the butter over the steak. But I'm going to use some of this down at the bottom. the shake, as we call it. Put some of the shake into the meat, and then I'm just gonna mix that up with my hands real good. And once our pan's hot, we start cooking. You know, then we'll get to the rolls, and hopefully I can time it to where everything gets done at the same time. That's the goal. That's what we're going for. I'll figure out the times that everything needs to be cooked and the temperatures and all that. Well, we'll figure that out once we get to it. But for now, we're just getting everything prepped and ready. And I want to put a disclaimer here, just so you guys know, I am not a chef. I don't even know if I would be considered a good cook. But usually when I cook stuff, everybody who eats it says it tastes great. I love cooking. I love eating good food. And it's just something I'm learning. You guys are learning along with me. Every Ghetto Gourmet episode, every Hobo Cafe, when we make something, it's the first time I'm cooking it. I looked up a recipe, or I asked a friend, or I watched a YouTube video. So, you know, there's definitely things I can learn. You guys can drop any advice, any pointers, any tips down in the comment section for me. But this is just for fun. I like cooking, I like eating good food, so, you know, we'll throw it up on the channel. But don't expect any Gordon Ramsay masterpieces from me, okay, guys? But you can still drop a like on the video. You can still do that. What you doing, buddy? Hey, buddy. He's a good doggy. He's a good doggy. All right, guys. Guys. These are my fancy homemade tater tots. These things, they're really tough to make. I'm not gonna go into a whole video on how to do this, but basically, once you get to the tater tot, you put it on a pan, and then you preheat your oven to 450, and then you open it, and you throw them pieces in there. Now, I'm not gonna give you my secret recipe on how to make the actual tater tot, but you just cook it at 450 for like 30 minutes. They come out great every time. About halfway through, you throw a little salt and we got that Cajun seasoning. We'll throw that on there. It's gonna be bomb. But that's my special tater tot recipe. I'm not giving it away to anybody. You know, that's how we roll here at Ghetto Gourmet. You don't get everything. You don't get everything. Sorry guys, I said 450 on the tater tots. I meant 400. I double checked my recipe, and it's 400 for like 28 to 32 minutes. So I double checked my recipe. So we usually just go 30 minutes. So in about 15 minutes, no, in about 10 minutes, I'm gonna start heating this pan up, and then we'll start cooking our cheesesteak meat and our peppers. And then once it's pretty much done, we'll put it on low heat just to keep it warm, and we'll get to working on them buns. We're gonna get them buns right. You gotta work on them buns. Let's get it. All right, guys, it's time to start this cheesesteak. We've got our oven on medium high. Our pan is heating up. Not our oven, our stove. Our stove is on medium high. Pan's heating up. This thing, I got a little bit of oil on it just to keep it lubricated for when I do the rolls. I got to get the butter out, butter the rolls, put my little seasoning mix on them to make kind of like Texas toast garlic bread sort of thing. The one thing I've been wondering is, I'm not sure how I'm going to get the cheese to melt. Because like if I was doing a burger, I would just put it on the burger a few minutes before it was done so it would melt onto the burger. But with cheesesteak, I'm not sure how I'm going to do it. I guess I just hope that the bun and the cheesesteak is hot enough to melt the cheese. But I really want melty cheese, you know? Maybe I throw it in the toaster for a minute. We'll have to see about that. But I'm going to butter up this bread while this heats up. And then I'll be back in just a second when we throw those peppers and onions in. All right, peppers are going in. I'm going to throw some olive oil over the peppers, let them go for a minute. I decided just to microwave some butter in a shot glass. I put it in there a little too long. It started exploding everywhere. Just to melt it down and pour it over the bread and then add a little garlic salt. But I think I'm just going to throw that in the toaster because that thing's too small for 4 of those. I've got 4 buns. Throw our onions and peppers up in here. Get a little oil on that piece. I love onions and peppers like this. Not much, just a little drizzle. Alright, and then we'll get the meat in there in just a second. Let those shrivel up a little bit. This, I got a mess going on over here. I'm just gonna drizzle over here. I can't do this one-handed, but I'm gonna pour some butter on there and get some garlic salt and a little basil on that bread. We'll be back in a second. Alright guys, it's about to get super smoky in here. What do you think, Echo? You can't even see him, he blends in with the carpet. What do you think, Echo? It's all smoky, buddy. It's gonna get real smoky in here. Peppers have been going. I got these buttered up and a little bit of basil, a little bit of garlic, a little bit of salt. And I am gonna do them on these. I'm just gonna do 2 at a time. Yeah, it's time to throw the meat in. So I'm just gonna, I've already mixed that up. Got cayenne. Got little, we've got salt, pepper, and cayenne and thyme in this meat. And a little bit of oil in here. We got garlic and salt and pepper on the veggies. And I'm gonna focus on cooking this. Once it's just about done, I will be right back. We'll throw the bread on, turn the heat down, and it'll be about ready. And I need to season my custom tater tots. Seasoned up the tots. They got about 10 minutes left on them. Meat's got another little bit left. I turned the heat down to a little bit above medium because it was cooking very fast. I've got to tend to it. I'm about to start putting the bread on the thing. Put these back in. Be back in a second, guys. Okay, guys, I had to go quick there, but I don't have a lid for this, so I just put a plate like that. I want to keep some of the moisture in there. I turned the heat down. The pink is almost all cooked out of the shredded beef. It still needs to cook a little more, so I want to keep the moisture in there, so I just put that over the top, turn the heat down a bit. We're going to let it slow cook in there for a little while. And then I've got these. This shouldn't take long to kind of cook this basil and salt and garlic into this. So I need to keep my eye on it. I have it on medium-high heat. Oh yeah, that's almost already done. And I think what I'll do is I'll throw it in the toaster. Yeah. Yeah, that looks good. Throw it in this little toaster oven. Throw it in that piece. And the last one, throw it on here. I got no oil. I got no oil. Should be alright. It's got butter on it. Let's open this thing up. I'm gonna open this thing up, focus on this meat for a little while. I'll put that in there in a minute. Turn the heat on that. And then next time I come back, it should all be about done. The State of the Union is about to start, and I can't miss it. Alright, meat's looking good. I've turned the heat down quite a bit. I still want the vegetables to cook a little bit. I'm going to throw this over that. Try to keep some of that moisture in there. Let them really get nice and soft. I like them soft more than crunchy. And the rolls are toasting. One thing I did realize is that meat, I thought it was a lot more meat than it was. So it's probably only going to be enough meat for like 2 big Philly cheesesteaks or Salt Lake City cheesesteaks, or 4 with not a lot of meat. So I don't know. My roommate's not here and he bought the steak, so I'm just gonna eat mine and let you know how it tastes in just a moment. But I'm not sure if I'm gonna do 2 or 1. We'll see. We'll see. All right, boys. The event is about to begin. I gotta watch it. The meal is ready. Looking good. Tater tots got a little overdone. I got Shane's buns in the toaster. Let me turn those off. But here we go. Bomb. This one's already made up. I gotta make the other one up real quick. So my cheese has time to melt. I put a little mayonnaise, some pepper jack, the shredded steak, and I'm gonna drizzle some A1 in that piece. That looks pretty good. So I'm gonna make up my other sandwich, make Shane's up, I guess, and set them aside, or maybe just, I don't know. I'm not sure how I'm gonna do that, but I will be eating it in just a moment, guys. All right, guys, the State of the Union is going to begin any minute, and I've got to watch it. So I'm gonna have this awesome dinner. These Philly cheesesteaks, these tater tots. This is bomb diggity. Have a little blue moon. Put some A1 on there. Oh, I'm about to bite into this and let you know how it is. But before I do, I want you guys to consider subscribing to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. Hit the little bell next to where it says subscribe, so whenever I make new videos, you guys can watch them right here instantly. Hit the thumbs up for sure. You gotta hit the like. You gotta drop a comment. Let me know what you think of the video. But I'm gonna bite into this thing. It's a cheesesteak. It's everything I like. The pepper jack, the peppers, the onions, the A1, the steak, the sandwich. I love a cheesesteak. This is my cheesesteak right here. A little spicy. Woo! I put a tad bit too much cayenne in there. It's got a kick to it. It's good. My homemade tater tots. Gotta chew the steak up good. I didn't cut it up. Maybe the big chunks I should have cut up a little smaller. But I like it. I can tear it. I got teeth now. Most of them. Blue Moon. Tater tots are good. They got a little overdone. But yeah. Thanks for stopping by, guys. Can't talk with my mouth full. Again, like the video. And also, you guys, I'm going to be playing in some Dragon Ball Super card game online regionals soon. I'll be streaming all day on March 12th and 13th over on Twitch TV/Dragon Ball Junkie. So check those streams out. And the Dragon Ball Junkie YouTube channel, youtube.com/Dragon Ball Junkie. Check that out for all the gaming content that I make. I've been putting out a lot of gaming content over there. But this was really good. Shane just got here, so he gets to eat his. I'm sure he's going to love it. So I'm out, guys. Thanks for watching. Peace.